Hawaii SHIP is a organization that is funded by the federal government, Medicare.gov, and Social Security. They provide funding, and the organization is Hawaii State Health Insurance Assistance Program. They have one in every state within the United States. So we here on the island of Oahu and the state of Hawaii provide information to support those that are planning on receiving Medicare or looking to retire. And so we gather information to best understand what to do when someone reaches the age of 65. It is a service that is provided at no cost to the individuals within the state of Hawaii.
Is this organization independent of Medicare?
No, it's more of a support group that gathers the Medicare information and shares it to the workers or the state community within the organization of those that require medical insurance beyond an employer's coverage.
Why should I call SHIP instead of one of the companies that advertises on TV?
Well, SHIP provides a service at no cost. What you may be referencing is these medical insurance companies, where we, as SHIP, State Hawaii Health Insurance Assistance Program, provides a service of information that helps provide a worker who's looking to reach 65 or choosing to retire after age 65 who's still working, and they're covered by their employer, and then at some point they're going to be required to get a Plan B under the Medicare coverage, and it gets very confusing. And that's the main reason why I decided to help understand more about Medicare through SHIP. So being volunteer with the SHIP program allows me the opportunity to learn through these experts or this organization.
Can you also help if I'm on Medicare and it turns out I'm having some sort of problem?
Oh, yes. Good question. So if someone in the community is struggling with fully understanding what they're receiving through Medicare, they can always call our organization, the SHIP program, and that number is 808-586-7299. And someone may be happy or maybe be unhappy with their current insurance program as a retiree receiving Medicare. There's an open enrollment period from October 15th through December 7th where they can give us a call. We can do a cost comparison, take a look at what they're currently receiving through medication, their program, and then we can compare the best three advantages for them. For example, these current competitive medical insurance coverage like HMSA, Humana, Kaiser, and we can provide the community with the best comparison to make good decisions.
And if someone's interested in learning more about you and maybe volunteering, what should they do?
They can go on our website, or they can also call this number, the helpline, which is 808-586-7299. Leave a message, or you may end up getting a live person. We can gather the information, and one of our volunteers will reach out and schedule an appointment and actually answer questions, whatever they may need. And I think volunteering is a good opportunity for an individual to learn more about the complexity of what SHIP program is all about and Medicare.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can you tell us what the Hawaii Long-Term Care Ombudsman does for us?
Okay, we're a Hawaii Long-Term Care Ombudsman, so I'm one of the Long-Term Care Ombudsman for Oahu. I'm one of the few members of the Long-Term Care Ombudsman. Basically what we do, we advocate or speak on behalf of residents in long-term care facilities. For example, nursing home, care home, community foster family homes, and assisted living. So residents in those homes that need our help in terms of advocating on their behalf, if they have any issues, concerns, or complaints about their care or resident rights, we'll do our best to advocate on their behalf if they choose us to, if they want us to help with them. Yeah, so we're basically what we call resident directed. We're not mandatory reporters. So the resident has to share with us any information they'd like to share in terms of their concerns or complaints, and then we can try to address that with their permission and their consent to follow up with the administrator, the director of nursing, or the caregivers, or the owners of those facilities.
Do you actually visit the homes?
Yes, so I'm one of the few that go out. So I make visits almost every day. So I try to visit about 6 facilities a day. So it could be a combination of foster home, care homes, nursing home, or assisted living. You know, I check on the residents, talk to the residents, check on their setting, look in their bathroom, you know, and trying to just get an idea of what's happening in their home. You know, I introduce myself, give them some information about our program and what we can do to help them if they need us. You know, we should have access to them, and they should have access to us in any event that they might need to talk to us. It could be sometimes they just want to share their frustrations with us, and sometimes that's all they needed is someone to share, you know, express themselves. Because sometimes a lot of these folks don't even have families or friends that visit, which is of course a sad part of the truth. But again, we're just here to, you know, support them, do what we can to help them.
Are you able to escalate situations that require it?
Yes, if it's required, you know, I will talk to our state long-term care ombudsman, John McDermott, who's been serving as the state long-term care ombudsman for the last 25 years. So we would kind of discuss cases. If I need to escalate it, sometimes we would reach out to the Office of Healthcare Assurance, which is another department within Department of Health. Or sometimes it would be CTA, which is Community Ties of America, dealing with the foster homes, and maybe APS, or maybe even HPD if it's required. Yeah.
And do you have any general advice for those of us who are getting older?
I would say, you know, make sure that you have an advanced healthcare directive. That's always very important because sometimes we do have issues with guardianship. Make sure that you have good friends, you know, people that you trust, friends and families, and, you know, just remind them that whenever you end up in a long-term care facility, that you still want them to visit. Because I do get a lot of folks that are in these long-term care facilities that always says, no, I don't want to be a burden to my friends and family. But, you know, if we have good relationship, it shouldn't be a burden. You know, people should be wanting to see each other, you know, because that's part of living is, you know, having those relationships, and we don't want that to stop. A burden to come and see you for half an hour, I don't think that's a burden. That should be, you know, those, you know, it should be loving, you know, it should be respectful, you know, and to me that's, you know, it also shares to the caregivers in the facilities that, you know, there are people out here that care for me, and if there's an issue, then they should be also my advocates.
Yes. Can you tell me what you've been doing on Maui since the wildfires?
Okay, with the recommendation from John McDermott, you know, he thought it would be helpful and supportive if we went and made a visit out to Maui. So over the last 3 weeks, we did make a weekly visit to some of our facilities. One specifically is Rosalani, and one was Kula Hospital. So a group of us went out to meet with the residents, you know, just be there for them, to support them, and also advocate on their behalf. You know, luckily, when they saw us and we introduced ourselves, they were very happy to see us, share some of their frustrations and some of their stories of their history and background with Lahaina. and a few of them definitely were affected by that. Family members, friends lost their homes as well, and just knowing that they've heard the stories, they've seen the stories on the news and the TV, and knowing that there are people here on Oahu as well as all over the world that really care and they want to put their best foot forward in supporting them. And also John McDermott will be flying out to Maui next week on a specific case. So Maui in general, we do have an ombudsman there. We actually have one ombudsman and one volunteer ombudsman, so they're keeping tabs on all our different long-term care facilities. Luckily for the long-term care facility, only one foster home facility was slightly damaged. However, those residents were put in a safe place, and the caregivers are doing their best to make sure that their residents are continue to be safe and cared for.
We're here with the people from the city and county of Honolulu to talk about wastewater, which is one of my favorite topics. So tell me what I should do and not do.
Well, people shouldn't be flushing unflushable wipes because that doesn't dissolve in the sewer, and we recommend them just to use toilet paper. Also, paper towels is a bad thing to go down to the sewer. Also, cooking oil, because it causes blockage in our sewer, and we want to make sure our sewer line stays in the sewer and doesn't come out of the sewer manhole, overflow, and ends up into our ocean. Protect the environment.
We are talking about stormwater today. Can you tell me your name and what you do?
So my name is Kyle. I'm with the Stormwater Quality Division. I'm a community relations specialist under the Public Education Outreach. So our main focus is to advise the general public, commercial, industrial organizations on better ways to handle the stormwater off of their properties.
And what are the benefits of better managing our stormwater?
It's everyone's responsibility to manage their stormwater on their properties, making sure that none of the runoff pollutes our streams, pollutes our oceans. So we're always advising on better tactics and better practices to help manage that. So it's things like, maintaining your garden so that the sediment and the fertilizers don't run off into the storm drains. It's properly handling your trash, so that way none of that falls down into the storm drains. It's even erosional things, so putting in pavers, putting in retaining walls to make sure that none of that ends up coming off of your property into the storm drains. And we deal with construction industries, we deal with commercial industries like auto shops, gas stations, retails. We deal with even government and private sectors as well. Every property has an issue with stormwater that we try to help manage and maintain good practices.
Can a general member of the public call you for assistance and advice?
Sure, yeah. We always have a hotline, even if it's things like you see one of your neighbors accidentally, something's coming off of their property. So like if someone's doing construction and it's leaching off, if you see something like paint or automotive fluid coming off of their property, you can always give us a call. Our number is 768-3300, or we have a website, cleanwaterhonolulu.com. And then we also have our website that will give more information on better management for homeowners, for educators, for government, and for retail as well.
My name is Dr. Diaz. I'm a licensed psychologist at the Vet Center in Kapolei, the West Oahu Vet Center in Kapolei. And we offer readjustment services for veterans, their families, and for active armed service members. So if you have any questions about our services, just give us a call. You can reach us at 808-674-2414.
Can any veteran use your services?
Veterans have to be eligible to be able to use our services. Our services are free and confidential. The best way to find out if you're eligible is to give us a call. Generally, if you've been in a combat area, if you had any trauma or were deployed to a hostile environment, that's usually the way to be able to be eligible for our services. Yeah, so we can provide readjustment services. That just means counseling. If you're leaving the military and you're just having a hard time adjusting, we can provide services for that, which would be like talk therapy. We can also provide referrals, so if we can't service you in-house, we can find a place that would be able to help you with mental health or anything, or physical health, like getting you connected to the VA, the main VA up at Tripler. We also can help you if you're looking for benefits. We can help you figure out how to contact the benefits, what forms you may be able to fill out, or other veteran service organizations on island that can help you submit a claim.
I'm thinking about serious challenges people have, like PTSD. Is that something you can help with, or do you refer out?
We can provide all services for all diagnoses: post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety disorders, depression disorders. And if it's something that we do not do in-house, we would provide a referral to a center in the community that would be able to help you with that.
Is there one piece of advice you would give to veterans to help them understand how easy it is to get help?
Yeah, the initial step is just, contact somebody and see if you're eligible. In our case, again, just contact us at the West Oahu Vet Center. And that initial step takes a lot of courage. So just knowing that it's out there, it's available for you, it can provide a good quality of life, particularly if veterans are feeling like they have suicidal thoughts or anything like that. They're not alone. There's other veterans and providers out there and community people that really, really want to help you. And that's what we're there for, to provide that help for you so you can have a good quality of life.
So the Hawaii State Public Library for the Blind and Print Disabled has served people in Hawaii since 1931, when federal legislation was first passed. Our mission is to provide reading materials to people who are blind or low vision, or maybe who cannot hold on to a book, or maybe they have a condition like dyslexia. We want to make sure they have access to reading materials in a variety of different formats. The goal is that all may read.
Can anyone access these services?
So services can be accessed if people meet particular conditions, generally of low vision or loss of vision. Again, some medical conditions where somebody doesn't have use of their hands and they're unable to use conventional print materials. If there's a question, people should just call us at the library and we can talk them through the conditions by which they would be eligible for our service. Well, in addition to the federal program, we do, under the state program, have the largest collection of large print books in the entire public library system. And those are available to anyone. So as long as you have a library card, you can have access to our large print materials. And it's a wonderful collection of materials. We want to make sure people have access to reading materials, and we have them.
I'm getting very concerned.
Can you tell us what the University of Hawaii Cancer Center does?
We do research. We reach out into the communities. We try to fight back cancer by finding cures, by engaging the public in helping us find tomorrow's cures. And so, many of the things that we have here are clinical trials that are currently recruiting participants. And we really want the word to go out that we need your help to help participate so that we can get a good demographic, varied demographic of people, especially those who are severely touched by cancer, the cancer burden, like Native Hawaiians, Filipinos, Pacific Islanders, Caucasians, Japanese, of course, Chinese, Koreans, everybody. We really need everybody's help to know that our research is safely done and that we want to get the word out that we're here to help our community fight back against cancer.
What are the benefits of participating in a clinical trial?
Sometimes it's varied. So sometimes it's as little as a gift card if the study provides it. Other times, I participated in the liver study. I was able to get back my results so that I could actually have a talk with my doctor about my fatty liver. That wasn't a good liver that was not fatty. The results of my clinical trial participation. And other times it's just really knowing that you are making a difference in adding to the variety of findings because you care enough about the future to participate today.
If someone is diagnosed with cancer, how would they connect with you?
Oh, we have a wonderful website, www.uhcancercenter.org. In addition, we are one of 72 NCI National Cancer Institute designated cancer centers, and so the NCI's phone number is for cancer, 1-800-4-CANCER.
So, are all of your clinical trials limited to people in Hawaii, or do you participate in larger trials that use people elsewhere?
We do. For instance, our multi-ethnic cohort study is a collaboration with the University of California, San Francisco. Our researchers do collaborate all over the world to make sure that we have the best researchers working on finding the next cure.
Do you communicate or have any connections with pharmaceutical companies that are testing drugs?
That's a really great question. I am not the all-knowing person on that, but we have recently, last month, had a presentation about diversity in health in our population with one of the pharmaceutical companies to help address the need for attending to diversity through our clinical research.
Do Native Hawaiians or Pacific Islanders have a higher risk of developing cancer?
You know, there are a lot of cancers out there, but generally speaking, I'm not a researcher, but generally speaking, yes, they are greatly impacted. Pacific Islanders, Native Hawaiians, with the cancer burden. Many of them may not go to the doctor right away. They might, they eat different, their lifestyle is different, and their body composition is different as well. So it does lead to a higher cancer burden.
Can you tell us what the IRS Taxpayer Advocate Service is and what you do?
Sure can. So the Taxpayer Advocate Service was actually put into place in the year 2000. It was mandated by Congress that there be an organization within the Internal Revenue Service that is helpful to taxpayers. So we were mandated by Congress. In 2000, we stood up, and we are your voice at the IRS. We are there to assist taxpayers work through problems that they have not been able to resolve through normal IRS channels.
So if someone's having difficulties, how do they get in touch with you for assistance?
So if they're having problems, they can go on the website, irs.gov, and they can put in Taxpayer Advocate Service. They can pick Hawaii. Our information will come up. We do have a local office here, 1003 Bishop Street. It's in the Pauahi building. And they can also give us a call at 808-466-6375, and we can assist them there.
Do people have to pay for your services?
No, our services are free. We are part of the Internal Revenue Service. We're independent within the Internal Revenue Service.
What are the most common issues you see coming up these days?
Probably our most common issues are I did not get my refund, my return has not been processed, I did not get my EIP payment, those kinds of things, yeah, or I'm being audited and it's been 6-7 months and I haven't heard anything. I do a refund and I need that money. And that's another thing that we help with is hardship situations. If you are having a hardship based on something that IRS has or has not done, then we can assist as well to try to cut through the red tape, see if we can get that refund to you more expeditiously. Say, for instance, our seniors, if they need a medical procedure or they need some medication, they can't pay rent, something like that, because they were relying or they were expecting that refund to be there and help them through, then we can see what we can do to cut through some of that and get it to them as quickly as possible.
What's the number one piece of advice you would give all of us in doing our taxes?
The number one piece of advice I can give is if you get a notice from the Internal Revenue Service, the worst thing you can do is nothing at all. So if you get a notice, don't be afraid to look there, call the number that's on that notice. If you call and you talked to somebody, they promised you something, they didn't get back to you, you've written somebody, or you responded to that notice and they never got back to you, that notice should also have Taxpayer Advocate Service information, or again, you can go to the website and get our information, call us, and we can help.
Will the IRS ever call me?
The IRS will possibly call. We do have collection agents that may call. Typically, though, you will have gotten notices, several of them, before that happens. And if they do call, they have ID numbers that they can give you that you can check and make sure they are legitimate. They will never threaten you. They will never ask for you to go down and pay by a debit card So that's the key. And they're not going to, they can't come and take you to jail. So don't think, when they say, oh, I'm outside and I'm going to come in and I'm going to take you to, no, that is not us. Okay, they may call, but it won't be a threatening situation.
And if someone is a victim of identity theft, can you help them?
It depends. So if they are a victim of identity theft and someone has used their Social Security number to file a return, then, and that's causing them problems, then yes, we can look at it and see how we can help. If they're just a victim of identity theft and unfortunately, something has been stolen, and then they just need to report it like they always do a police report, call the credit bureaus and that kind of thing. But there are times when they will use that to file a return, and then we can perhaps see if there's anything that can be done in that situation.
Okay, anything else I should ask you about?
I just would like for everyone to know that we do exist. There is an organization that is independent within the Internal Revenue Service that is there for the taxpayer. We take the information, we look at it from where that taxpayer is, where they are coming to us, not what you've done or what you haven't done, but what do we need to do right now for you in your situation to assist you. You have to pay the right amount of tax, but there are also rights that you have as a taxpayer that we want to make sure that are, given to you, and that we can help you maybe with the least amount of burden and heartburn, and at the very least we can educate you as to why you owe and what your options are for payment if that's the case.
We're here with the Hawaii Parkinson Association. Can you tell us what the association does?
The Hawaii Parkinson Association is the leading Parkinson advocacy for Hawaii. We have a multitude of services, including support groups. We have a resource center at St. Francis Healthcare System in campus in Liliha. And we also have a symposium that we host every year that's free for everybody in the Parkinson community. And we're the resource for anything that anyone has questions about regarding Parkinson's.
If someone is recently diagnosed with Parkinson's, do the doctors typically mention your organization, or do patients have to find you on their own?
It's a little bit of both, yeah. So a lot of the doctors do refer them to our website or to our resource center, and others they do have to search it out on their own. And so, as soon as they type in Parkinson's and Hawaii, they typically find us. So we're very good on Google search engines and so forth. So yeah, we should be fairly easy to find.
Is there any research or clinical trials with Parkinson's going on in Hawaii?
There are. So there is a few Parkinson's clinical research trials going on. Most of them are through Hawaii Pacific Neuroscience, and so they would be a good resource to contact regarding those things.
What's your first piece of advice for someone with Parkinson's disease?
The first piece of advice I would give them is that you can live a great life with Parkinson's, and I'm living proof of that. So the way that I do it is I have the right medication plan with my doctor. So that involves being open and honest with your neurologist about what kind of symptoms you may have and what your plan is for living. Second thing, you have to exercise. Okay, do some form of exercise. Move around. Third is you need to have a positive attitude towards life. Okay, if you don't have the right medication and you don't exercise, kind of tough to have a positive attitude, right? So all three go hand in hand. And the fourth thing I would say is try to be as independent as possible. You don't have to be Superman about it or Superwoman about it, but be as independent as you can. Yeah, and that's for me my secret to living well with Parkinson's.
What are the types of symptoms that should prompt people to go see their doctor?
Wow, there's a lot, but the main symptoms are probably tremors. The other symptoms that may be factors are loss of smell. If your handwriting becomes smaller, that tends to be one of the symptoms as well. Constipation, loss of sleep, shuffling of feet or loss of balance is another one. Loss of facial expressions. A lot of people with Parkinson's have what they call a masked face. So it might be good if you're playing poker in Vegas, but not so good in everyday conversation. And so yeah, those are some of the more common early signs of Parkinson's.
Ladies, we're awesome.
So Jeffrey, Senior Medicare Patrol in Hawaii, what do you do?
We help our kapuna stay clear of Medicare and Medicaid scams specifically, but we are a program that doesn't say no to other kinds of scams and fraud that come in. So we try to help people with whatever they are experiencing to better our community.
And how do people get in touch with you?
We have an 800 number that they can call if they're on the neighbor islands, because we are a statewide program, which is 1-800-296-9422. Or if you're on Oahu, you can call 586-7281, and one of our counselors will get back to them as soon as they can.
Do you have a website?
We do have a website as well, and that is smphawaii.org.
What kinds of problems are you seeing people having these days?
So scams and frauds across the country go in waves. It depends on what is happening in our community. Oftentimes they will match whatever issues are plaguing our communities. We did see, unfortunately, during the fires on Maui, immediately after the fires on Maui, there were several scams that popped up for suspicious donations and fake donation sites to donate to. But student loan scams are something that happened right after President Biden's announcements that there were going to be relief on student loans. But then there's the ones that come in waves and continually are recycled, which are the clickbait ones for the Norton virus or the package at your mailbox that is undeliverable, all kinds of things. Anything to get anybody to try to click the text message, to say yes on the voicemail, to click the text bait in their emails, anything to try to get somebody's confidential information. I think we're really in a different time in our world right now, so things are changing and things have changed. AI is going to make it change even more rapidly. So we're really trying to build a program that can work to the future and not necessarily work the same that it did in the past prior to the pandemic.
What's your first piece of advice for someone who suspects they may be scammed?
Use your gut, because one of the things we like to tell people is if it's too good to be true, more than often it is too good to be true. So, use your gut instinct. But we are here to help. If you have questions in regards to whether or not you've been scammed, most definitely you can give us a call. If it is a money scam, we highly recommend that people call their banks immediately to let their banks know. If it isn't a scam, they could always reinitiate the payment, but if it is a scam, they cannot get the money back. So most definitely notify your banks immediately if it's a financial scam. If it's a relationship scam, talk to somebody else that you trust if you start getting suspicions that the person is not being honest with you. Somebody else who can be your soundboard to listen, and if you have two people that are thinking that it might be a scam, then more than likely it'll help you come to realize yourself that it is a scam that you're involved in.
What kind of volunteer opportunities do you offer?
So there are office positions. If you're an introverted, shy person, like some of our volunteers claim that they are, we will help you grow. If it's something that you want to try to do, we will highly encourage you. There's training components that we're building right now to help our volunteers to have more knowledge, as well as there's an extensive online training that you can participate in that our federal government oversees, that they are working day to day to try to even make it stronger and better and more interactive. So that's something that they can participate in as well.